Welcome back, everyone. I am so glad to have you back. And today I'm going to showcase the true power of Python. And I'll show you some of the libraries that are used for business intelligence, graphs, charts, as well as the powerful mathematics libraries that are involved with it. And a little bit of a disclaimer first. What you're about to see is by no means a gauge to help you invest. It is only for learning purposes. Equities are high risk, and personally, I do not recommend investing in equities or stocks. That's my personal opinion. Now, having said that, without further ado, you're about to see something that is truly incredible. The power of Python in all its glory. And I'm just getting a little bit tingly here because I'm just so excited to show you and showcase these libraries today. So without further ado, let's get started.
First and foremost, everyone, my GitHub channel, Snake Charmer Data is the name, and you are going to find everything that I show you posted on my GitHub channel. And here we have the code, which is the NASDAQ stock analysis pie. Also, a code explanation as to what are all the bits and pieces of the code, what they do. I also provide you with the user guide, basically. So you have the different chart types and how to interpret these chart types. By the way, that's also going to be these chart types are also going to be part of a little challenge that I have for you at the end of this episode. Um, we have some more information like installation, usage, data visualization, the requirements. These are the libraries. The libraries are going to be pip installed through the Visual Studio because these libraries come prepackaged with the Python interpreter. And all you need to do is when you create your environment, and please do refer to my episode on how to create environments, and that will explain um, essentially for every new environment. And you can use the virtual environment or the Conda environment. That's up to you. For every environment, you will reinstall only the libraries that you need. So, in other words, you don't cross pollinate and run into a little bit of wrinkles here and there. Um, so, all the information is in my uh, main projects in the repositories. So I'll show you my repositories, and it's going to be in the main projects, but don't worry about it. I will have a link at the bottom of this episode. Now, let's get to the actual script. And we have the script. As you could see on the left-hand side, I've got the environment. We have the terminal at the bottom. So this is the terminal. The terminal is your best friend. Remember that, because that will come in very handy. We have, like any script, the libraries at the top. You would normally see an underlined little wiggly underline if the library has not been installed. So if it hasn't been installed, just do pip install and the library name. Um, you know that you would know that your environment is properly set up if you see the name of the folder being, quote, your actual project name. So your folder becomes the project name, and that should be visible, and that's how you know that you've installed it successfully, as well as on the left-hand side of that line, you will also see your folder name underscore env, that stands for environment. So I know what you're waiting for. You want to start you want to start running this application. So let's do that. Let's just run our file, and here we go. And this is the app. I'm excited. Let's see what this baby does. So we'll click on search stock. That is one of the functions that we have. It is a search function, and we will enter one of the more popular stocks, probably the most popular stock out there, Apple. So here's the ticker. Let's submit, and we have a graph. The default chart type is price change, and you can see that there is different types of charts in this drop down function. What are the other functions that we have? I wanted to add a range function, so that is always important. So the range is a pop-up. So let's minimize this because it is a pop-up. And we have a from date to a to date. So the from date and the to date have something that is quite similar. They have the months and they have the years. So here, I know they're not that visible, and this is one of the challenges, is basically go into the code and perhaps add a black color so you could clearly see the from date and the from year to the to date and the to year. But here there is April. I could change it to May. Let's choose May 1st, 2024. And again, part of the challenge will be colors. So see if you could change the color and make it red, for instance, or perhaps yellow. Maybe yellow might actually work well here. Um, or perhaps green might be nice too. So we're going to choose May 1st, 2024 to April 25th, 2025. And we have another function, which is apply. Of course, there's a cancel function as well. So let's apply. And do we have the date set up correctly? And yes, we do. So we have it from the May 2024, so 1st of May 2024 to the 25th of April 2025. Another function that we have is the type, view type, is we have weekly, daily, and monthly. So this is how we can see the chunks of the data. So we could see it by spread out over days, spread out over weeks, or spread out over months. It's going to be a lot more condensed if we choose daily, but let's choose daily and see what that gives us. So as you can see, that's quite condensed, and not as condensed would be monthly. So here we go. I'm going to put it back to weekly. And so this is a price change. Let's see what else we have. We have candlesticks, so you could view it as a candlestick. Again, daily will be quite condensed. Here we go, so a lot more condensed. Let's go for moving averages. So we have our moving averages. Monthly might make a little more sense as moving average, or perhaps weekly. We have our volume analysis. We have volatility, price distribution, return distribution, correlation with index. Let's try a different stock, Palantir. And here we go. We have the data for Palantir. Again, we could change the range. We could change the view type, And here is our correlation. We could see the outliers as well. So this is pretty much a great, a good resource. I would say a great resource. There is a question mark here that is not visible, but again, we could change the color for those. These were not visible either, the search stock function. So I had changed those to blue. I had colored in orange the from and to. Um, I had changed the from date to be in blue and the to date to be in orange. Let me show you where these are. So if you look at the code, and let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's increase the font size. Let's increase it a bit again. All right, so if you scroll down, we have control frames, we have analysis button. So you can see you have colors. The analysis button, I haven't tried the analysis button yet. I know I've added it for, let me see if it does anything, because I was planning on adding some more powerful analysis. Yeah, I'm not sure what the analysis does, but let me show you the functions here. So I think analysis doesn't do anything at the moment. It was just perhaps an added challenge, as you could perhaps see if you can integrate some different types of analysis. But as you could see, I've turned the buttons in blue. Let me actually just bring this back. So these are the buttons that were added in blue, and we have our daily, weekly, monthly button. We have, it's on the left. This is the padding and the drop down. So this is the button with the drop downs, and it is color blue. We could change the colors. Um, we could see the graph frame is white. The pop-up window for the search is white. There is a white background for the search entry. The submit button. So we have the submit button as well. Um, the pop-up window for date selection is also white. The main container. The frame for the calendars. And by the way, pad X is the X axis and pad Y is the Y axis. So you could always increase sizes for those as well. We could see the calendar background is dark blue. That's the larger calendar widget. Date entry, so is dark blue, and we have the foreground, which is white. To date is white as well, the to date calendar. We have the orange and white, so that was the orange background. For the dates, and I left it as white so it could stand out. And we have other labels here, such as fetch the stock data. So you could see you've got your colors, and part of the challenge is to play around with the colors and see what works, what doesn't work, and how you can make things a lot more visual. Now, let's get into the libraries. And the libraries are at the top. And the libraries that we're using are tkinter, which is the graphical user interface, and that's what allows us to add the boxes, the boxes for the functions, the padding, um, the well, the left and right padding, the XY axis padding, the colors, and so on. So the graphical, the GUI is tkinter. We have matplotlib, which is the graphing and math application. We have Yahoo Finance. We have a datetime library. We have, of course, the pandas library, the numpy library, and the scipy library. And let me show you a bit about those and what they do. So matplotlib is a data visualization library that has the ability to provide you with a lot of different graphs. And we could, let's see some of the uh, capabilities. So the plot types. So we have scatter plots, bar plots, stack plots, histograms, pie charts, um, plots of arrays and images, 3D volumetric data plots. So really a very powerful tool. Y Finance is Yahoo Finance, and that is something that um, Python can connect to and import data that can then be applied in terms of matplotlib. SciPy is a very powerful algorithmic, and it's used for scientific computations, basically differential equations, statistics, um, you name it, SciPy can do it. NumPy is a very powerful scientific package, and Pandas, of course, um, is one of the amazing um, libraries used for data manipulation, data analysis, and works well with a host of other libraries that are used for artificial intelligence. So if we go to AI libraries, there's a lot of libraries that are used for AI and used in conjunction with Matplotlib, Pandas, and the other libraries that I've just showcased. Some of them are called Keras, PyTorch, uh, for large language models, learning, and AI, um, Scikit-learn, Seaborn. Seaborn is another. Actually, let me just show you Seaborn because it is quite amazing. Seaborn is a fantastic capability. Let's just go straight to Seaborn. It is an amazing data visualization tool that is used by Python. And wow, look at this library of capabilities. It is just insane. Uh, yeah, I'm always impressed by Matplotlib and Seaborn. These are amazing visualization libraries. So let's analyze how all of this works. Now, the important part of creating something as complex as this is really understanding what it is that we want to do first. And what we want to do is first set up the functions, because the functions and the locations of those functions are going to dictate exactly where we go in terms of where we head in terms of architecture. So what do we know? And that is the first thing we need to start with, is what do we know? And what we know is that I we would need a ability to search for the stock ticker. And we know that the input of the stock ticker, when submitted, should provide the information in terms of a graph, one of many types of graphs and charts. What else do we know? We know that we're going to need a range. So it will be from a year, month, day to a year, month, day. So we need a range functionality. And of course I had to close that. So we have the range functionality. What else do we know? Well, another type of filter, because these are filters, by the way. The search is a filter function. The range is a filter function because we're filtering date ranges. And the view type, we're filtering chunks of data, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly data aggregations. So we know we need those. Now, when it comes to the chart types, I am not a financial equities expert by no means. So this is one of the things that I had to ask the NLP to provide me with. So one way to organize this as a language model is to straightforward just ask the NLP, these are the functions that I need. And if I were to showcase the power of Matplotlib and its charting capabilities to, let's say, my students, how would I go about and what types of charts can I show in order to showcase the power? That the NLP will provide you, and chances are the the Gen AI, basically the NLP, when it provides you with that information, you will be able to you will be able to here, let's just go into our coding environment. It will provide a suggestion. It will actually let you know, okay, so these are the functions that you want, but you also want to showcase the power of the tool. You want to showcase the power of the Matplotlib library right here. And you want it to connect to something like Yahoo Finance, and it will probably, well, in my case, it offered a suggestion of different types of chart types that can be used, and it also advised whether or not I want to proceed with a script. So I said, yes, let's proceed with the script. And that is the beginning. It is by no means the end result because there will be a couple of of wrinkles here and there that you're going to need to iron out, and you will get into different types of errors as well. For instance, um, let's say that you click the price range. Um, so first, let's get our stock back. Let's say we click on the price range. Well, that's the default one. So we have a chart. Let's say we then choose candlestick, and let's pretend that we had no information whatsoever. Nothing happens when we click on candlestick. Nothing happens when we click on moving average. What would be the first instinct? Well, the first instinct would be to come to the um, GenAI, to the NLP tool, and say, hey, where is the candlestick? Um, where is the candlestick? And GenAI, what it would do is it will look at the code. So it's going to just analyze the entire code and see what is wrong here. What is happening that something must be off because the candlestick part is not working. And it's going to try and figure out where the issue is and what to do. However, that is not necessarily the right approach. The right approach is to look at the terminal. And here's the terminal. The terminal, again, is your best friend. When you click on any of these functions, let me condense the terminal here a bit. When we click on any of these functions here, see what happens with the terminal. See, we get a result in the terminal. And this is a great way to test all the functions of your app. Let's click on correlation with index. Again, as you could see, we have a message here that says 1 out of 1 complete. Now, if something didn't work, either the program sometimes is geared to give us a pop-up with the error, and that is a program-centric part of the script. But in this case, let's say correlation with index did not provide any type of results. No graphic results, nothing happens, no action. So look at the terminal. The terminal, chances are, will show you that there is some kind of a warning. And what you would do is you would copy, paste the warning, which chances are will have the line number as well, where the subject matter is at fault. And you'll just copy and paste the warning into your NLP, into your gen, and it will analyze the issue and provide you with a solution. So no worries, you'll get a few wrinkles, but that is the best way. It is the best approach to ironing out the wrinkles. It is to really copy paste the warning that you have. Basically, actually, it is the error messages that you will get. So you copy paste them in your NLP environment, and it will provide an update to the code. So I've shown you the script, how it works, the functions, how to think about building the script first in terms of what are the functions that you need. Also, mind you, where the location of those functions should be. So I advise always top or the right hand side. Because naturally, when someone uses a graphical an application, the first place that the eyes look is the top right. So that's where everything starts. Top right corner is the expensive real estate part of applications, and web pages. Um, let's go to the Snake Charmer GitHub. And again, this is the code that you can copy paste. Don't forget the challenge, which is to change colors so you can make things more visible, play around with the colors and see what happens when you change them. Um, for instance, let me just change color somewhere. Let me close that. Let's see what can we do in terms of changing color. So we have our daily, weekly, we have our candlestick. What am I looking for? I'm looking at my calendar. So I have the background, the foreground is white with orange. The apply button is black. The cancel button is black. The day to date calendar, the from date and the to date calendars are there. Foreground white. Let me change this as foreground yellow and see what it does. Foreground yellow and foreground yellow. Now let's run this. Let's bring the stock back. Now the range. Well, it changed the, as you could see, we now have these in yellow. And now that I know what it does change, I'm gonna put those in, let's put them in blue. Let's go to, let's close it. And let's change these to blue. And this is how you can have lots of fun just by changing things, and not to worry, completed you have the completed code that you can always download and run it again. So let's go back to our Apple stock. Let's choose the range, and as you can see now, it is clearly visible that we could see the months and the years. And there we go. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you will take a little bit of time and also have a look at these powerful libraries, what they are, what they do. Um, Take a look at the explanations that I have in the analysis guide. One thing that I do recommend is that If and when you have your code completed, for instance, your application is complete, you could basically ask the NLP engine if it could provide you with the natural language version of the code that you see. So, like, provide the natural language version of the code, and the NLP will, as you could see here, it's going to provide us with the natural language version that best suits the code that we see. Of course, it's taking a bit of time here, but it's because it has to truly understand the code. And why do I suggest that you go ahead and do this is because computers, or basically the NLP engines, the Gen AI engine, um, they the programs don't really understand uh, what a word means. It has no idea. It cannot comprehend what any of this really means. Everything that you're looking at, every application, everything that we do, every type of AI generator is essentially an algorithm. It is a vast warehouse of algorithms, and essentially at the end of it all lies a processor that interprets everything with off and on switches, essentially zeros and ones. That is it. That is all. Um, it has no idea. So part of the power of a program, and it, part of empowering yourself into knowing how to properly um, come up with the best fitting natural language to create an application is to really, once you have the application completed, is to ask the NLP to provide you with the actual natural language that best suits and fits the code that is currently running. And the way that helps is because it will it will help analyze how the system really looks at data, or sorry, really looks at the language in order to associate it with the programming instructions that it has to produce, and the architecture that it has to create. And I will leave you off with that. I do hope that you enjoyed this session, and I look forward to you joining me for the upcoming sessions. And well, I hope that this was enjoyable. I hope that you learned a lot, and that you'll be back. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.